Hi everybody, and welcome to a brand new video. Now, you might be thinking, I haven't done Railroad Tycoon in a while, so what's going on? And essentially, yeah, I haven't done Railroad Tycoon in a while. What's going on is that essentially I'm trying to do the very first level of the campaign, Go West, as you can see, on hard mode, which I've done before. It's in fact my very first recorded video for Railroad Tycoon about 6.5 years ago. The thing is that I'm playing on the Steam version of the game, no pun intended, and essentially I've lost all my campaign data files, so I'm having to actually redo all the scenarios again. No big deal, but what I thought is that seeing as Go West is probably quite an easy scenario, I figured I'd make it a bit harder for myself, and I'm not sure if this is actually going to be doable or not, because this is actually my first attempt at doing it. So it's entirely possible that this recording will just end up in a failure. But I am playing on hard mode, and whereas normally the only objective in the scenario is to connect to the city of Boston, which is there on the map, to the city of Buffalo, which is there on the map, before 1866, 1861 or 1856 if you want the gold, with the condition of not being able to build unconnected track, and you can't resign or be removed as chairman of your company. What I'm actually going to do is probably not recommended and probably very, very difficult. I'm actually going to try and connect to every city on the map, because I think that last time I did this I actually managed to get to Buffalo by about 1850, which then leaves me about 5, 6, 7 years to basically try and connect to every other city. Now, the downside to this, of course, is that if I start in Boston, once I connect to Buffalo, the scenario just ends, regardless of whether or not I connected to every other city or not. Realistically, I'm not going to expect the gold, and also there is a lot of luck involved because of, like, the economy seed. It might be really bad, it might be really good, and then also you've got things like depressions and booms. I'm going to want a lot of booms and not a lot of depressions, because depressions will basically make this challenge impossible because you just can't really make much profit. The plus side, of course, being in a depression, track becomes really cheap to build, but consequently in a boom, whilst track is more expensive to build, interest rates on bonds becomes lower, so you can borrow a lot more money without having to pay it back. Without having to pay as much back. Anyway, with that out of the way, I'm basically playing on the Steam version. I do have some mods installed, some of which you've probably seen before, some of which you might not have done. I haven't downloaded any new mods in a long time, because like I say, I haven't really actually played this game in a long time. But yeah, so basically my plan is to kind of proceed as normal, start in Boston, try and get to New York as quickly as possible, and then sort of connect up to Albany, and then make my way slowly over to Buffalo, but make sure Buffalo is the last city I need to connect to. I did check, by the way, and to get into Canada I have to pay for access rights, which is $1 million. So that's going to be a massive pain in the arse. Suspension bridges only become available, I think, 1865, or it might be 1895. Now that I think about it, I think it's 1895. I think 1865 you can build like steel and iron bridges. 1895 I think you can build suspension bridges. So if we want to get into Canada, we can't obviously build over Lake Ontario because we can't build a suspension bridge. Not that we would anyway, because it's too expensive. But we're going to have to go like through Watertown and then Kingston and then Cornwall and then Oshawa. But yeah, so we need to start a company, and then we need to actually start in Boston and probably connect up to like Worcester, Providence, Lowell, Manchester, Concord and Plymouth, and just see how that goes. So Gateway Eastern, that's not really appropriate name for the railroad. It should be Gateway Western really, but Anyway, I don't know what I want for the railway, but I guess will be the New York Central, which, you know, would have operated, maybe not at this time, but in this general area. Certainly in New York and probably in Boston and Buffalo, etc. Right, so we do actually start with quite a lot of money. Seeing as we're not interested in personal net worth, we can raise the dividend to 0. Raise the dividend? Lower the dividend to 0. And issue stock immediately. And we'll hold off on a bond for now. Like I said, I haven't actually played this game in a long time. So I'm a bit rusty as to actually what you... Well, not what you do, but like sort of... I'm a bit out of practice, as it were. Yeah, let's get the station down. Oh yeah, I do actually have the grid on, so when building track, and I also have trees cleared. So it just means that I can build as flat track as possible. It takes longer to build, although I just build track when it's paused anyway, so that's no big deal. But it means I can build flat track, which means the trains move faster, it's cheaper to build, you know, and ultimately I end up making more money because my trains move faster. And also it's more realistic than just building straight through mountains and having tunnels and stuff everywhere. That's not ideal. So no way to build through Providence. There we go, that's what I want. Yeah, 2%. Okay. So when I say I want to connect to every city on the map, there is AI in this scenario. But what I mean is that I want to have a station in every city, preferably my own, but if that's ridiculously difficult, then I might just have to accept the use of some AI stations, although it's entirely possible the AI will just massively fail and I can buy them out anyway. But yeah, my goal at the moment is probably just a bronze medal, because, to be honest, simply connecting to every city in itself is a challenge. Never mind trying to do all of that in just 16 game years. But anyway, that's Boston to Providence connected. I haven't actually examined the map to see just how many cities there are in the game. In the map, rather. But it's quite a few, but it's not loads. I think I have certainly connected to every city on the map before in certain scenarios, just not this one. How do I actually want to do this? Because this is a bit of a pain. Please bear with me, because there's going to be a lot of times when I just have to sort of build track and then undo it and try and get the track to be as optimal as possible. This doesn't seem like the correct way to do this. Ooh. That's a bit of a nasty slope. That works, but can I do better? Especially if I want to connect to Lowell. Maximum of 4% if I do it that way. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of experimenting with track building and then probably undoing a lot of track at the same time. But it will create some interesting routes, I suppose. And also, it will mean that cities that otherwise would not get rail connection will end up with rail connection, which is quite nice. Right, that's a maximum incline of 3%. I think we can live with that. So, build station over here. And if we actually look, Boston obviously is the main city for cargo. One thing I will say is that recording Railroad Tycoon like this, I unfortunately have the timer and the button telling me to press stop to record. Or the button that I would press to stop the recording. Unfortunately, it actually conceals some valuable information because it's basically a roundabout the top right of my screen. So when I do this, I can't actually see all the information on the screen. I've got to be very careful I don't accidentally just press stop the record. But, so I'm actually probably going to have this lowered for now. So anyway, yeah, we've got a load of freight in Boston that can be shipped over to, well, either Providence or Worcester. Not much in the way of express anywhere, but we might as well get a train going from Boston to Providence, and then maybe just another one going from Boston to Worcester. Now, you'll notice that obviously we've got the planet, which ceases to become available in either 1840 June-ish or January 1841. That's obviously base game. We also have the Norris, which is also base game, and then we also have the Samson and the Dorchester. The Samson actually has a lower top speed than any other locomotive in the game, but you'll notice it's actually better on hills. Passengers really don't like it. Oh yeah, and also I've got a mod that affects the passenger appeal of locomotives. You can see it at the bottom there. So basically, it just means that if a train is acceptable, passengers will pay a normal rate for passenger revenue at 100%. So the Samson is extremely poor passenger appeal, which means that passengers will only pay 60% normal rate. The Dorchester, on the other hand, is basically a slightly faster, actually, and better on hills, and better stats, and it's actually cheaper to maintain. So the Dorchester actually seems to be better in every way than the Planet, but in any case we're just going to use the Norris, because the hills are pretty minimal, it's good on passengers, it's good overall, it's pretty cheap to maintain and build or buy, and it's got good top speed. So yeah, we're just going to go with Norris, and you can see we've got no express anyway. Right, Worcester, there's basically nothing anyway. So we might as well just copy this train and go from Boston to Worcester. That has absolutely nothing to carry, that's very annoying. Alright, well we'll keep the train anyway. Let's continue building over to, because we can always reroute it. If we get to Lowell, then we can just reroute it. Like I said, try and keep the track as flat as possible. Also, for those of you who are wondering, this Railroad Tycoon video, it's not going to be a one-off, because I do want to play more Railroad Tycoon, but at the same time it doesn't mean that Zoo Tycoon's been cancelled in any way. You know, by all means I do want to continue doing Zoo Tycoon, and I obviously will finish Zoo Tycoon. It's just I feel like doing some trains. I felt like playing with some trains for a bit, and I thought of this challenge a few days ago, and I thought, this is a nice little challenge, and I think it'll be quite fun and quite interesting to watch. I didn't really think like how doable it actually would be, but I just thought it would make a nice little challenge. So here we are. But by all means I will continue with Zoo Tycoon and I will finish the scenarios. I haven't actually got anything else in mind for Railroad Tycoon. But if you guys think of anything that you want me to do that's a bit different, besides just, you know, completing scenarios the normal way, I mean obviously if you want me to just complete scenarios the normal way then I will do, but something like this I figure is a bit more interesting, because we've seen Go West before. I figure that this adds a nice little twist to the scenario. You know, the fact I've got to connect to every city on the map, which is both something that you wouldn't normally do and probably something that's not really recommended either. Okay, that's a bit awkward track, but I don't really see any other way around it. Unless I can somehow build a track that's like, I'm not saying that I don't like that track. I'm just saying, is there a better way? Like, not without accepting like a 4% gradient. Actually, this might work. Yeah, that's better. So, right. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this is New Hampshire, possibly? I don't think this is actually Manchester, Massachusetts. I think it's possibly Manchester and New Hampshire. Right, these mail apparently want to go nowhere. The passengers want to go to Boston. Right, we'll create a train from Manchester to Boston. Probably going to want a yeah, create a maintenance and service over here. Alright, so the AI has actually created a company, the New York and Edison, which I suspected because New York and Edison is, well, New York's probably the second best city on the map, or maybe it's the best city after, besides Boston. Not being able to build unconnected track is going to hurt. So the second AI has created a company called the Skyway, which hasn't actually got any track. You can tell that they've not built any track because the company is called Skyway. It's not called, you know, like New York and Edison. It's not named after two cities. Right, Altoona's offered $300,000 to the first railroad to connect to it. Logically, we're going to be the first company to connect it, unless by some miracle this AI connects from New York to Edison, and then Allentown, then Newcastle, and then somehow manages to connect to Altoona. What's annoying is that if I buy out the AI tends to just build as straight, like, as the crow flies, so their track tends to end up being really quite rubbish. And if I buy out an AI, then I basically get all their track stations and trains. Now obviously I can sell off a lot of it, but it will mean that I get quite a lot of stuff that I don't really want, and then obviously I have to spend money to sort of correct. Right, let's check out $1 million in bonds. We can connect to Portsmouth and then Concord, or we continue expanding this way over towards New York via Hartford, and then probably Bridgeport and New York. Springfield seems like it's got some stuff over there, but getting to it might be a bit of a faff. I think we're actually going to do that, because I do know that once you connect to New York there is a bonus. I forget exactly what it is, but I think it's like maybe, you know, $500,000 in cash or something. It's quite a nice bonus. I mean, this is the first campaign level. They do try and make it as easy as they can for you, but at the same time, you know, it's by no means sort of trivially easy, but is it worth building the stone bridge? Because that costs $350,000, and a wooden bridge costs, it's only an extra 100,000 or 100 and a bit thousand. I might actually just build a stone bridge here, to be honest. And then we can connect over to Bridgeport. That's nice and flat, I like it. Apart from around the bridge area, but that can't really be helped. Right, Bridgeport is connected. And then we can connect over to Hartford, or we actually just try for New York. No, Right, that's New York connected, although it's not actually my station, but oh well. Right, we're going to need maintenance and fuel round here. So now we can build trains from New York to Bridgeport. And we're going to need... Oh, we can't afford maintenance and fuel. Well, we can't afford maintenance and service tower, so we'll just go with the service tower for now. Your company has been given an anonymous donation of $100,000. Seems someone wants you to succeed. That's not the bonus we're getting from Boston to New York, which hasn't actually triggered yet. I'm wondering if it's because I don't have my own station in New York. So can't quite afford that. So as soon as I get 200,000, I'll change. I'll build a my own station in New York. This train actually doesn't seem to be doing much from Boston to Providence. I'm wondering if I should reroute it. There we go, Boston to Bridgeport. That could work. Not Boston to Bridgeport. That's a bit too far. I guess it could work though, but... Alright. Ah! Shoot. Temporarily had, yeah, I temporarily had, $200,000. That's annoying. Yeah, I'm thinking I've probably got to build my own station in New York to get this bonus. Unless it just triggers in January, maybe. No, it's still not triggered. Alright, no worries. We'll get a bond, issue the stock, and then build our own station in New York. Which actually, to be fair, yeah, there you go. Boston hooks up to New York. New York Central makes connection. Things looking up. Yeah, so if you look, the AI station actually doesn't cover that farm. But it does actually cover this meat plant. Fruit orchard. I mean, it's basically the same anyway. But we now want to go to New York Junction. Not New York. And Skyway has actually decided to connect Allentown to Newton. Okay. Yeah, I can't build unconnected tracks, so I can't actually connect Allentown to Edson. Which is quite annoying, but it's just one of those things. I probably don't have enough money right now to connect to Hartford and build a station, but I'm going to give it a go. Yeah. I know it's still early days, but I'm actually thinking I might have bitten off more than I can chew here, and this might actually be insanely difficult, but I guess we'll see. Going to need a large station if we want to get the whole city in. Right. Okay, there's a lot of passengers here. Want to go from... Well, they kind of want to go all over the place. But let's take them to New York. Although we could go to Boston as well, both of which are quite far away. Like I said, there is quite a bit of luck involved in this, because if the economy is really good, it makes my life a lot easier. If the economy is really bad, then I'm going to struggle. And the economy is basically random. Saying that, I think we're doing okay for now. Should be making money. Let's check. Right, I'm getting money as well because the AI's decided to start using my track. Admittedly, it won't be much money, but you know, it will help. Yeah, so the trains are taking quite a while to get to places, but they are actually making decent profits, which is good. Yeah, now they're pleased with us. That's all good. Right, we need to connect to Portsmouth and Concord, although Concord is... basically there's nothing there. We can connect over to Portsmouth. Actually, let's leave it pause for now. Can I get these farms in? Almost. Right, so we've got quite a bit of stuff in Portsmouth. That's... Ooh, hang on. So, there's quite a few people in Portsmouth, quite a bit of iron as well. I'm thinking we'll go to Worcester. Yeah, let's do Portsmouth to Worcester. And then also we could even do... Ooh. Portsmouth to Providence. To sell off the milk. There isn't in Providence. Not really. Just some corn. Well, Portsmouth to Providence could be alright. Let's do that. We're probably going to need another maintenance and service round about here, though. Because the nearest one is all the way over there, but it should be alright. Norris has a poor fuel economy, but it's not that far away, I suppose. Right, can we... Could probably spend all our money and maybe buy out one of these companies, like the New York and Edison. Or connecting to Concord at this point is basically pointless because I don't think there's anything there. And obviously, whilst I have to connect to every city on the map, I don't have to connect to every city as soon as possible. I do want to connect to Springfield, both for the challenge, but also because I think, yeah, that tool and die is obviously attracting iron, and it's got some goods, so that could be good money. Getting to Poughkeepsie, I think that's how it's pronounced, and then over to Albany should be good as well, but it will also be quite difficult to do. I think maybe just connect to Springfield if possible. It's quite expensive. Maybe just build a wooden bridge for this one. Hang on. Do I have to build out this way? Yeah. If I want to get to Keene. Because I can't really go... Well, I mean, I could maybe go round like this. But for now, let's not block ourselves off, but also not build this way. Leave options open. How I want to do that, I don't actually know. But something like that. That works. And then, can I fit the entirety of Springfield with a medium station? Yes. Right. Now, I needed to build a maintenance and service. Probably... don't think I've got anything from Manchester to Lowell. Or from Portsmouth to Manchester. Pretty sure I don't have anything like that. So, yeah. Let's build it over here. And then, this stuff can go to possibly to New York. Actually, that might be quite good. Seems to be some iron in New York. Yeah. So let's go Springfield to New York. Or New York Junction, because New York is not my station, of course. That's making some nice money. And then Worcester is all the way over there. Okay, what about Boston itself? A lot of passengers. Do I have a Boston to Hartford train by chance? I do, right. Which doesn't have a dining car, which it really should. I'm actually going to build a train from Boston to New York. I know it's a long way, but it should make good money. Yeah, it does. There you go. And we'll put a dining car on it as well. Right. Any other stations with lots and lots of cargo? Manchester has a lot of cargo in the form of passengers. Manchester to Worcester, do we have that? Got Manchester to Boston, because I was actually thinking of doing that. But we don't have Manchester to Worcester, so we can do that. Right, Manchester to Worcester. And then growing prosperity, that's really nice. What about Portsmouth? There's still quite a bit of stuff in Portsmouth, so we could do Portsmouth to Boston, if we don't already have that. No, we don't. Okay, so Portsmouth to Boston, that's quite a long way, but I think we'll be alright. And then, I think that'll probably do us for now, unless we want to do like Hartford to somewhere. Hartford to Boston, I'm pretty sure we've already got that. Yeah, Boston to Hartford. We're making good money now. I'm aware that I'm borrowing a lot of money in bonds, but I think we'll be okay. Right, do I buy out one of these companies? I'm actually going to save the game as well. Go west. All cities. LP hard. Right. Yeah, I could buy out New York and Edison, and then that would allow me to connect over to Allentown. That would be pretty good. I'm just contemplating buying a load of shares in them first. but then that would drive up the share price, and therefore I'd have to pay more money to buy them out in the first place. So let's just do $900,000. Oh fuck, it failed. It was an exact high. Well, it's a good thing I saved it. Alright. What about 920,000? There you go, that passes. Right. New York Central takes over New York and Edison. Financial analysts are amazed. Right, so we do actually have two stations here in New York. We probably don't really need both of them, but we'll keep them both anyway, because then it saves me having to reroute a load of trains. So we've got a train from New York to Edison off the AI, that's fine. Hartford to New York, I guess that's fine. And then New York to Hartford again. Probably don't really need this particular train if we've already got New York to Hartford, and we've probably already had one of our own. Right. Hartford to New York. Hartford to New York Junction. Yeah, we already had two trains going from Hartford to New York, so we don't really need a third. So I think retiring that train was probably a good idea. Right, this is kind of what I meant about absolutely awful track. What the fuck is this? I'm going to save the game. And now I'm going to destroy this. Rebuild. No, actually, I'm going to build it as a stone bridge. Oh, that's horrible. Okay. Yeah. Railroad Tycoon has a tendency to be able to build the most obscene track. If you build it from there to there, it's fine. If you build it from there to there, well, you saw it. It was horrible. The rest of the track is actually okay, to be honest. Right, we want to build some trains out of Edison. And I guess we can go Edison to Hartford. Ooh, that make good money on the clothes. Not really much else, but might make a bit of money on Express, maybe. Yeah, some passengers. Passengers and clothing. Right. And I can't issue stock or take out any more bonds. But the next stop, or the next step, should be... Ah, boom times ahead, that's nice. Does it allow me to take out bonds? It does not. The next step should probably be to connect Edison to Allentown. Unfortunately, this way is pretty steep terrain. Right, so after 4 years, we're making good progress, making decent profit, and we are in an economic boom which will help us out a lot. But we've still got a hell of a lot to do. Just gotta wait for it to be able to issue the stock. It still won't let me. Right now it will. Okay. Let's take up some bonds. That's all that will allow me to take out. So yeah, there's only one AI, and you can see that his share price is falling. He's not really very profitable, which is to be expected because he's only got 2 cities connected with some pretty horrible track, and the cities aren't exactly very big. Nor are they connected to like a port or a warehouse or anything like that. I mean, normally if you're just doing this scenario normally, you wouldn't build out this way and connect these cities unless you had a particular reason to do so. big fan of this track, but I don't know if there's anything better. This is all okay. Can't build a tunnel through there, it's a bit annoying. I mean, a bit of 4% I can live with. You know, it's not loads of steep track. It's not like it's a sort of constant incline of like 4%, which would be a bit of a struggle. I mean, that's the cheap and easy way of doing it, but that's absolutely horrible. I really want to make this turn, but the game doesn't seem to want to let me. I really want to build tracks so it sort of goes round here and then like through there and then connects up to their maintenance facility that way. Oh, hang on, that works. That actually works. I will have to pay to use their track unless I just buy them out right now. There you go. Well, that was simple. Right, so there's now no AI companies. That probably wants to be a... yeah, that definitely wants to be a large station. That is probably a medium station. Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. Due to their awful station placement, it actually doesn't work properly, but oh well. Right. Now, this, on the other hand, I just want to get rid of all of this, pretty much. Ooh. Hang on. Reload the save, because I hadn't actually considered that this, there are trains currently using this track. So, really this should probably be a large station, or I just destroy the station and build a new one. Because literally if they'd have built it like that, I could fit the entire city in, and I could probably expand it to a large... But here, I could expand it to a large. Doesn't quite cover the whole city, which is really stupid, but we'll leave it for now. Right, I'm probably not going to expand out this way anytime soon, because all these cities are going to be extremely difficult to get to. I mean, Newcastle I could probably get... yeah. These cities are going to be really difficult to get to, because they're just like in the middle of the mountains and very hard to access. And I realise I basically just said, these cities are very difficult to get to, because they're very difficult to get to. But that's kind of the long and short of it, that's, you know, there's not really much more I can say. Right, Allentown. Actually, let's just look, what trains do we have from the AI? So, Allentown to Newton, we can keep that. Although it doesn't look like it's really that profitable. Might as well put a dining car on it as well. Right, well we definitely don't need another one. Actually, thinking about it, that's all they would have had, because they only had those two stations, and I built this track myself, and it was only there the moment before they got bought out. So those are the only two trains that they would have had, so no wonder they were extremely unprofitable. They just had two trains going A to B and B to A, and both of those cities are not very big. It's like if I connected Worcester to Providence and just had two trains running, one from Worcester to Providence, one from Providence to Worcester. You know, I obviously wouldn't make a profit, and to make matters worse, the track is absolutely awful. But now that I've got rid of that extra train, I can probably destroy this and then rebuild it in such a way that it's not an absolute monstrosity or an absolute mess. There you go. Right, that's how you build some track. Saying that... yeah, have to rebuild the maintenance and service. There's a tiny square there of 5%, but I think I can probably live with that. He says, yeah, that looks a bit odd, but... ooh. Oh, please let me reconnect. Oh, for goodness sake, I've actually just made it worse. Right. Okay. So, long moral of the story, I guess, is leave that track alone, because that one square of 5% is fine. I can live with that. Right, that is pretty good going. So... now we unpause the game and see what's going on. We can't issue stock. We've got $2 million. I'm going to save the game again. Yeah, we've got $2 million. Probably, maybe connect up to Keene. Or... actually, we still need to connect to Concord, although there's like nothing really there. Maybe connect to Poughkeepsie, and then up to Albany. Assuming we've got the money for it, that could be quite profitable. And then eventually we want to get all the way up to Burlington along this river if possible. Because I don't think going from, like, say, Manchester to Keene, or Springfield to Keene, and then up to Charlestown. Yeah, there's not really a way we can get from Charlestown to Waterbury very easily, which does mean how on earth are we going to get to Waterbury? Waterbury's right in the middle of the mountains. Ooh. Okay. It's a good thing it's a good thing I can build unlimited track. Because obviously, in a map like, say, Central Pacific, connecting to every city on the map is probably impossible because you get limited track. And obviously you've got a load of mountains to deal with. Although obviously we've got a load of mountains and hills to deal with here. Ooh, this is going to be nasty actually. Hang on. Yeah, the only viable way is to basically go along this way. Do I want the stone bridge? No, let's go with the wooden bridge. But now, it's a lot cheaper. And until we start building double track, I think wooden bridge, we can probably afford the speed loss because, you know, Norrises don't exactly travel very quickly anyway. Okay, does it? It just says that the slow train's noticeably, but I don't know if it's like they can only go at half speed or whatever, I don't know. I can't imagine it's like a flat rate because otherwise something that's like a 300 mile an hour electric train wouldn't be as affected as you know, like a planet which would barely move. You know, you couldn't just make it like 10 miles an hour slow. You'd have to make it like, say, half speed. Right, there doesn't seem to be anything besides these two houses in Poughkeepsie, which is really, really weird. You'd think there'd be like a post office or a bakery or something. Oh! I've not been building these. Alright, well, I'm not going to spend all my money on these. But I'll just build... I'll build them in Boston and New York for now. Right. Allentown to New York. I don't know what there is to carry, but I'm guessing it's probably quite a bit. And we'll also actually do New York to Allentown. We are going to need... probably not a maintenance because there's one there, but we'll just build a... we'll build a service tower just to be safe. And then, I think... actually, we will build a maintenance. Because I want to build a train from Edison to Allentown. I don't think we need one on the reverse. Although actually there are still quite a lot of passengers and stuff to go the other way, so that'll be okay. I can't imagine there's anything in Newton. Well, there are some clothes that we could send to New York for quite some money. And a bit of milk. So actually, okay, we'll do Newton to New York. I thought there were some passengers, but apparently not. Right, now, when we get some money, then we can connect over to Albany. And I think that'll be reasonably profitable. I don't know if that's going to be enough money, but we'll save the game and have a look anyway. Yeah, these cities are going to be really difficult to get to. These are probably going to be like the last cities I connect to, just because they're so sort of out there and very much in the middle of nowhere. I mean, some of these cities are actually quite sizable. I mean, well, Altoona, maybe not, but like Williamsport has got a brewery that is not at all profitable, but it could be with a railroad connection. Newcastle, not to be confused with the English town of Newcastle, has a lumber mill that is reasonably profitable, but could be more profitable with a railroad connection that could happen at some point, or rather it will happen at some point. Allentown to Newcastle, not the easiest connection to make, I will say, but it's not far, it's just not an easy connection to make. And then from there, we could probably build over to Scranton, which has a lumber mill, which is making small profit. But yeah, these cities are going to be very difficult to get to, but they could also be profitable. It's kind of a shame that you never really get the chance to use Buffalo, because it is actually quite a big city. But unless you actually start in Buffalo, or you just don't connect to Boston until the scenario ends, which is a flawed tactic, it would be interesting to see, actually, is it possible to win the scenario by, instead of connecting Boston to Buffalo, instead connect Buffalo to Boston? You know, start in Buffalo and go east rather than go west. So you would start with Buffalo to Rochester, and then move over to Syracuse, Utica, Albany, and, you know, build that way. But hopefully I've now got enough money to build over to Albany, and also hopefully the track's going to be reasonably flat. Woo. Right. It's quite a long bridge. Ideally I want the bridge to be as short as possible. But I also want to be able to build both this way, so I can get all the way up to Burlington, but also this way so I can get to Utica. I feel like there might be some pretty nasty track incoming. Right, I'm okay with this bit of track, because this is all like nice and flat. What's awkward is that Albany is both sort of in a valley and like near a load of rivers. I'd really like to be able to build unconnected tracks so I can actually put the station down, but I can't. Because building unconnected track extends to stations, because stations have to have a tiny bit of track associated with them. I might have to accept some less than ideal track, just to actually make this physically possible. I think I'm going to have to build a bridge over the river like that, and then I might end up having to build some kind of junction, or can I get reasonably flat track? Without building a bridge, can I get track? Well, I'm out of money anyway, but if I can get the track to go down to here, where it says invalid position over water, and I'm out of money anyway, but I think that could work, and then I'd have to sort of find a way to get track like this, and then if I had the money I can build over there, over to Burlington over here. So I don't want that track right now. I do want, well, I kind of wanted that track actually. I undid it just to see if I could do better, but right. I might end up having to build a tunnel, which is quite annoying. Because whilst that is, you know, a solution to my problem, it's also a very expensive one. No. Right, let's leave it like that. Have a big station to Albany, like that. Ooh, now that's created some pretty horrible track. Which also, to be fair, is track that I'm not going to be needing just yet. Don't like that. It's alright having like a 5% slope, but a 5% slope right out of a station is not good. No, I'm going to leave it like that, and then I'm going to have to think of something when the time comes. But in the meantime, there are a lot of people in Albany that want to go to New York. Not really anybody wants to go to Albany, but Albany to New York. Wow, there's a lot of people in New York. Right, let's do, yeah, Albany to New York. As expected, there's a load of passengers. A tiny bit of corn. And we can also do New York to Albany. not with the dining car. Yeah, this Boston to New York train makes a lot of money. It just takes a long time to get anywhere. I suppose it's to be expected, because it's got to go a long way. I'm actually going to need... Oh, actually, I didn't check Poughkeepsie, but there's not really anything there anyway. So basically this station is kind of completely pointless right now, because there's like nothing in Poughkeepsie. It's just two houses. Ooh, yep. Yeah, I was actually thinking that made the track worse, but it hasn't actually, really. But I'm also going to build a water tower about here. Okay, so we've used up 5 years, which actually isn't a very long time when you consider what we've actually managed to achieve already. Right, that's a lot of money taken out in bonds. With this money, were I playing normally, I could probably get from Albany to Buffalo right about now. But unfortunately, I don't have that liberty. Probably, maybe now is the time to get from Albany to Burlington. Which is not going to be an easy challenge. No one said it was going to be easy. And hey, if it were easy, it wouldn't be a challenge, would it? But also, it wouldn't be very entertaining. Now the question is do I continue building this way? Bearing in mind I'm probably going to have to deal with like a steep slope coming out of the station. It seems fairly unavoidable. Or do I have this as like a terminus and then do something... Whoa. I had a bit of track there that did actually work, but the game's not letting me rebuild it. What I want is to be able to build some track that is sort of like that. You just saw it for a split second and the game just refuses to let me build it properly. It's just sort of scan... How do I... I had it for like... Ooh. Hang on. Yeah, but then I can't do anything with that, so... Something like that, but then there doesn't seem to be a way to... If I could build a bridge over to this part of the map... The game would just cooperate with me. What the fuck? Don't want that. Right, this doesn't seem to be doable how I want it to be. So I might have to do something like this. Which looks pretty nasty. It's very awkward because I'm building right next to a river and I don't want to just build a load of bridges. But I also want the track to be as flat as possible. I mean, that's a long bridge, but I suppose the advantage of this is that I can probably then build out over this way towards Syracuse and Utica. So that does actually work. And it solves the problem of having to build something like that, although obviously not that. I could probably actually build that way, but I think for now we'll just leave it like this. And then if you want to get from Albany to Burlington, you're probably just going to go a bit of a longer way round. I don't even know what's even in Burlington, to be honest. I think this is Burlington, Vermont. If my US geography is accurate. And I think Vermont is, in real life, sort of quite mountainous. Ooh. Have I screwed myself over here? Do I want to be connecting over this way? Whoa, I don't want a bridge. I don't want that bridge. That is nasty. Ironically, it might work, but it's also very nasty. Saying that works. Yeah, so remember at the beginning of the video I said this was going to be a lot of sort of editing and undoing track and seeing what works and what doesn't. Yeah, this is the part of the video where it's quite tedious, and if you like track building like me, then that's great, but I will admit this is very tedious. Yeah, talking 6% slopes, that's suboptimal, maybe, less than ideal, yeah, probably. Jesus. Is there nothing better than this? I mean, I'm thinking, I want to keep on this side of the river because Burlington is actually on this side of the river. I just noticed actually that, I don't know if it's possible, or if it would have been possible, but I might have been able to actually build up here and then just build along this sort of slope up here, maybe? I think it's too late for me now. Oh no, it isn't. Okay, well, we can try that. If all else fails, I'll just go back to the original, or like, go back to how I had it before. There's a bit of 5% track there that I don't really want. Hold on. I sort of know what I want now, but I don't know if it's actually going to be doable. Okay, and then we basically just keep going this way to Burlington, and this will work. Oh, no it won't. As soon as I say that, there's a slight problem. No, it's actually not that bad. Okay. I'll just keep going this way. This is why you never sort of back out of the track building menu until you're absolutely happy with the track, because once you back out of the track building menu you can't undo construction. Yes, there's a bit of 5% there. It's not the end of the world, but can we do better than that? Yes we can. Okay. Okay, this is, for a Norris, this is going to be an extremely long train journey. A little old Norris. But we made it! To Burlington. Right, now, this had better be worth it. I think station, like, is that a house over there? Oh, no, it's a tree. Huh. Well, I think the entire city is like that. I don't think there's anything else, so plonk the station down like that. And there's a few passengers and mail, but other than that, there's not really anything else. Nobody wants to go to Burlington, but we can send some stuff over to Albany, although New York would be more profitable, but at the same time it also takes about twice as long to get there. Right, well, along the way, we can build a water tower there, or a service tower, and we can also build a service tower there, a maintenance facility there. If I built it next to the water tower, I might end up, like, ruining my track and making a really steep slope accidentally. And then probably also want to actually build a maintenance facility around about here. Okay, so that is not a city that you would normally connect to, because you've seen the faff I've had to go through to get to it, and then of course there's not actually much there in the first place. If there's any... I was going to say, if there's any cheap cotton or wool, Edison seems to be the place to have it. Although there's actually not really much wool, so... yeah, there's no cotton that we could deliver. So this textile mill's pretty useless, unfortunately. But we could go from New York to Burlington, although that would be a very long train. But it does deliver quite a bit of stuff. That's not right. Okay. Right, and then that's basically all our money gone, and we can't borrow any more, unfortunately, because we've hit the 10 million 20 bond limit. But we should still be okay. Like I said, I don't think we'll get the gold. If we do, I'll be amazed. But I think we should at least get the bronze. Is now a good time to connect to Concord? Yeah, okay, why not? So let's connect to Concord. The question is how do I actually want to do it? Because it's kind of surrounded by mountains. Or, like slight sort of hills. Well, that was easy. And there's a couple of passengers and mail. Nobody wants to go... Well, actually, Portsmouth to Concord. There's a few people want to go. Yeah? So we could build a simple train going from Portsmouth to Concord. Couldn't make much money, but... and then we could do Concord to Worcester or Boston. Concord to Boston seems to be better, although it will take longer. But let's do that. Right. Okay, I did issue the stock already. Now the Baldwin has become available. Now the Baldwin is only 90% passenger income, so it's a freight train, but it's very good on hills, and it's got a higher top speed than the Norris, and it's actually $3,000 cheaper to maintain per year, which is pretty negligible, really. Statehood for Texas and Florida. Texas and Florida join the Union. I don't know what difference, if any, that makes to my game. Maybe we'll get more passengers, or you know, maybe the economy slightly improves or something. I don't know. Probably absolutely nothing changes, to be honest. Right. God. Maybe try and connect to Keene from Springfield, although that's not going to be easy either. Yeah, I'm looking, and I don't know how many cities we've actually connected to in total. Poughkeepsie is number 15. 16, 17, 18. There's 17 because we have 2 New York stations. And then there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 cities to connect to, so I think that makes it 35 cities. So in terms of cities connected, we've only actually done half the total. Saying that, I think we're still doing alright. Manchester to Keene could be doable if we sort of go, maybe find the path this way. But I think Springfield to Keene is probably more ideal. This might actually be easier than I thought. Yeah, that was actually quite straightforward. It's quite a lot of passengers. Right, let's do Springfield to Keene, or Keene to Springfield. We'll do a Norris, because we're going to get quite a few passengers, yeah. And we're going to need, unless I already built them, we're going to need maintenance and service. No, I did not build them. Ooh. Okay. Save the game. So I think we're doing all right. No idea by what date we will have every city connected. And I'm also not sure which cities I want to connect to next. Connecting to Waterbury is going to be a pain. Unless I can get from Burlington to Waterbury somehow. So 5% would be AAA credit rating, 6% would be AA, 7% would be A, 8% would be triple B, 9%, yeah, so I'd be able to get a bond at 10%, so I could actually spend some money and reissue these bonds at 10%, which I think I'm actually going to do right now. Just get rid of these 12% ones, and then maybe another 12%. And then I've been able to take out some at 10%. It just reduces the average interest rate that I have to pay back. There's one here at 13%. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And yeah, take out this 11% and then this 11%. So it does cost us $10,000. Actually, it costs us $10,000 to cancel the bond, and then it costs us $10,000 to actually take out the bond of $500,000. So we actually basically lose $20,000 each time we do this, but at the same time, you're getting slightly better interest rates. So you see, I've reduced my interest rate from by about 1%, which means I actually save about $100,000 a year. Although I don't know how much money I have to spend to do that. But it's considering that bonds last for like 30 years, unless you're playing a very, very long scenario, you generally don't actually have to pay the bond back. And you can always just like do what I did and reissue them at lower interest rates. So it is a very good idea to pay bonds back and then reissue them at lower interest rates during economic boom times. And also by reissuing them, you don't have to ever actually pay them back, even after 30 years, which is good because you don't want to be hit with a surprise fee of $500,000 times however many bonds you've got to pay back at that particular moment. Right, I can probably connect to Newcastle, and then maybe connect to Scranton with the money I have. Or I continue building out this way and connect to Utica, Syracuse and Rochester, but not Buffalo. And then from there I would connect to Elmira, because connecting to Elmira... Oh, actually, then I could probably connect... Yeah, so that's actually a viable tactic. Go from Allentown to Newcastle, and then to Scranton, and then to Binghamton, Elmira, and then up this way to Rochester, and then to Buffalo. It's probably, you know, not as good as going up to Albany and then round that way, but it would work in theory. So the question is do I build over from Albany to Utica, or do I build from Allentown to Newcastle and then try and head over to Altoona? Or do I do neither of those things? Still don't know how I'm going to get to Waterbury. Unless... no, I was hoping there was a mountain pass there, but not really. There's one over here... No, not really. No, Waterbury is going to be an extremely inaccessible city, and there's also, like, basically nothing there. There's a logging camp. Yeah. Yeah, for such a tiny little city, this is going to be a massive pain in the arse to connect to, so I'm probably going to leave that for some time, and maybe just try and connect to Newcastle now. Still don't know why it's Newcastle and not just Newcastle. Unless the game makers made a mistake and it should be Newcastle, but I'm going to keep calling it Newcastle. to exaggerate the point that it is actually 2 words in this game. This is some pretty nasty track. I thought this was actually going to be quite straightforward. I shouldn't just assume that things are going to be straightforward in this game, should I? Because everything ends up being a bit more complicated than we think it's going to be. Except connecting to Keen, which actually ends up being really straightforward. For some reason. I'm wondering if I can build this way instead? And then I still have to get up there. If it weren't for this bit, that would be fine. A couple of 6% and there's one square that's 8%. Otherwise it's looking okay. Right. This is all okay, I can live with all this. If in doubt I can always just use the Baldwin anyway. And it's entirely possible I might only have like one train going here anyway. Because I can't imagine there's going to be loads of stuff coming here anyway. Oh, this is tedious. This is a faff and a half. Right, well we've made it. With a maximum gradient of 6%, which is actually really good. Unfortunately I've lost all my money, but oh well. We had to connect to Newcastle eventually, so... Fortunately I can't get the sheep farm in, and I am basically going to need... I might be able to get a medium station to work, but... Yeah, let's go with a medium station. Because I don't think there's actually anything that I'm really missing with the medium. Right, and then... Newcastle to Allentown. And we'll use a Norris because there's going to be quite a bit of express traffic. Oh yeah, also, I've got some colour liveries, like different skins, as it were, for the Baldwin. So I seem to have like a sort of black one, unless that's the normal one. And then I've got like a green one, a reddish one, black, green and red. Yeah, okay, I don't know what the normal one is, I think, but like I say, we've got a few different Baldwin skins, so if I get a Baldwin in this scenario, then I can maybe show off some of the new skins for the Baldwin. They are just aesthetic, the train is exactly the same. You know, it's not like the green one is faster, for example. Wow! I didn't even realise that my share price was actually that high. My stock was just split 3 for 1. I'm actually going to... Right, I'm actually going to buy some shares in my own company. Right, if I had any money, which I don't, I could sell off some of these bonds and get some cheaper ones. Because I could get some for 8%. But unfortunately I've got to wait for the issue stock to become available. Or just wait until I get some money end of, like, you know, $600,000 or something. Ah, economic boom fading, that's a shame. Now I can only get like, yeah, maybe like 10% again. Oh well. Right, we've got some money. Let's save the game. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the AI can really... Yeah, this AI is not going to be able to create another company anytime soon. Because he doesn't have the purchasing power and he doesn't have any cash. And this guy, even if he created a company, it would be absolutely rubbish. So we don't have to worry about any AI companies anytime soon. I think if they were going to create another AI company, then they would have done it already, but the fact that they haven't, you know, is kind of telling that they're not going to do it. Right. Do I continue from Newcastle over to Scranton? I mean, I've got to connect to Scranton anyway, and doing that seems a lot easier than trying to get over from Newton. So let's go from Newcastle over to Scranton. Hopefully I have enough money, but also hopefully I can get the track to be sufficiently flat, and we are actually basically there as I say that, so... I don't think we're going to have to build out this way. I see no reason to try and connect Scranton over to, like, say, Poughkeepsie or Albany. So, I think that's fine. Annoyingly, I can't build a large station and connect up to that dairy farm unless I built some track out this way, which is just not really sensible or viable. Annoyingly, that's ended up making a load of steep track. I might be able to fix that. No. Nope, that's not... That's not... What the fuck is that? Why can't I do that? I might have to use the post office trick, which is to say, you build a post office, and then get rid of the post offices. And this still doesn't work. Okay, well, let's reload the save. And annoyingly, I've got to build all the track again over to Scranton. Very well. And unfortunately, it was actually quite straightforward. Until I built the station. That's what killed it. Ah, there's Scranton. Okay, hang on. Such isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, which, you know, might as well be the title of the video. This wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. Now, if I build the station, is that going to ruin my track? It probably is, isn't it? Well, I can't really... If I keep that track, then I can build a station more over where I want it, but that track is less than ideal. That's a really horrible track. Right. Sorry about all the saving and reloading. It's just I want to get this right. But I also want to do it in a way that, you know, makes sense. I think I might make this my last attempt, though, to be fair, because I think if the track ends up being quite hilly and there's not really anything I can do about it, I might just have to live with it and use some Baldwins. I can probably afford the passenger loss of income by not using the Norris and using the Baldwin. Okay, this is some pretty horrible looking track around here. I think, yeah, ignoring the dairy farm, which I would like to be able to fit in the station, this is probably about as good as it's going to be, unless, hang on, ignoring that stupid bit of track, that does actually work quite nicely, so let's save the game, and maybe I can rebuild this bit, make it a bit nicer. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. We do have a bit of 7 and 6%. But that's only really when you come into the station. And I think the Baldwin will probably be alright. Either that or we just use the Norris and make do with it. So after all that, what is actually in Scranton? There's a bit of mail and a couple of passengers, some lumber that we can ship over to Allentown. Some milk, Allentown. Yeah, so we want a train from Scranton to Allentown. And we'll actually make it a Baldwin. I'm not going to use a dining car. So this is the standard Baldwin. But I do also have like a black one and another and a green one. I think I only have 3 different liveries. Remember the Alamo, Mexico and America at war. Weapon and munitions prices up 100%. I thought the Alamo was earlier than that. I thought it was 1830s, the Alamo, but in any case, it's a completely stupid event because weapons and ammunition are not featured on this map. I think weapons only become available after 1848 or 1850. But I highly doubt we're going to see any weapons anyway. And ammunition, yeah, I can't imagine we're going to see any of that either. So let's save the game. So the company is nice and profitable. Can't issue stock, which makes me think I might have already done it for the year and then just forgot about it. So I guess from Scranton we can connect over to Williamsport and then also connect over to Elmira and Binghamton. Obviously that's going to require a lot of money. Getting over to Altoona is going to be a massive pain in the arse, honestly. Because look at all these hills and mountains. Hopefully I can sort of build along the river and find a way. Or maybe I can build sort of from Williamsport to Altoona that way. It's not easy, whatever I do. So 7 would be double A, 8 would be A, 9. Yes, I'd be basically taking them out of 10% right now, so there's no point reissuing bonds. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get to Waterbury. Or Waterbury. Is there a way to get to Malone and then Cornwall by simply going round here? Maybe. From Burlington up over to Malone and then Cornwall. The logical thing to do would be to go from Syracuse to Watertown and then Watertown to Cornwall and Malone that way. Also remembering I've got to pay $1 million just to be able to actually build in Canada, and then there's actually 3 cities in Canada. Although actually Cornwall is in... Technically it's in Canada, but it's like right on the border between Canada and the US. Okay, I think I've got 2 options realistically. I either, or maybe 3. Build over to Williamsport, build over to Elmira and Binghamton, and then build up to Syracuse that way, or build from Albany over to Utica and then Syracuse that way. And I think Williamsport is probably the easiest city to get to at the moment. So I'm going to save the game and build over to Williamsport. And I say easiest, relatively speaking, because I don't think it's going to be that easy to get to. That's a long bridge, but it does actually create nice flat tracks, so I'm going to go with that. This, on the other hand, is pretty horrible. Look at some nice track. Still don't know how I'm going to get to Altoona. Unless there's a way. I mean, I don't have enough money right now, but is there a way in which that would work? I'm thinking if I can just build along this sort of little valley here. I say little valley, I mean it's quite a big valley, but... And then I'll probably end up with, obviously not the tunnel, but... You know... I mean, I will build tunnels if I have to. It's just they're very expensive and you can't build maintenance and service towers through them, and also they're at a constant gradient. Now, if the tunnel is flat, that's brilliant, ignoring that you can't build maintenance and service in a tunnel. But there's also a good chance that the tunnel might have a constant gradient of, say, 3%, which is not really ideal. I'm going to need a large station for this city, aren't I? Because I can't fit all of this on. Also, it's quite hard to tell what's a house and what's a tree. Something that isn't commonly said. Right, there's a lot of people in Williamsport. There's also a lot of coal. We can deliver the people to Allentown or Newton. There are some people that actually want to go to Williamsport from New York, which is interesting. We can deliver the coal over to Newcastle. But I think overall we'll probably actually just go Williamsport to Allentown, because actually there's quite a lot of clothing. And unfortunately we don't have any money right now. So... yeah, so we're not making as much money, and I think that's because of the prosperity rather than the boom, or at least I'm hoping that's the reason. Is it worth going from New York to Williamsport when that's such a long way? Ooh, train this one out of water from Concord to Boston. Ah, that's not good. Right, well, we'll build a water tower here. We'll actually just build a water tower over here as well. I mean, it is servicing, but yeah, not ideal. Right. I'm wondering if that should probably be a Baldwin rather than a Norris, but yeah, let's get a Baldwin going from New York to Williamsport, and that's obviously a very long way. Oh, hang on. Probably want to double up all this track. So we've got money to do so. Right, there we go. Because around New York is pretty congested looking. Yeah, economy slowing. Also, Boston actually is very congested. Yeah, it just helps alleviate delays and helps the traffic situation. So I can't really take out bonds at a lower interest rate because the economy is only in normal growth and my credit rating is only double B. You know, if it was AAA, I might be able to get cheaper bonds, but it isn't, so I just have to make do. Right. Do I continue from Albany to Utica and then over to Syracuse, or do I go and try and connect to Elmira and Binghamton via Scranton, which I think is actually what I'm going to do right now. Not with double track. I don't know what that audio crackle was. Hopefully that's not too loud on the recording. I think that's just something to do with the game. You know, I don't think it's anything bad necessarily. Ooh, that's nasty. No, that's really nasty. It's always awkward building in a valley because you've got a mountain on one side and a giant river on the other. You just have to sort of make do. See, build it as best you can. There's Binghamton. I don't know what state that's in, but I would guess it to be upstate New York. Because Albany is in New York, this is all New York State. And New York State, yeah, it does kind of extend out this way. I mean, it could be Pennsylvania, I guess. Right, I don't think there's any reason to build out that place, that's like a terminus. Right, and that is actually decent gradient. Yeah, that Scranton is a bit nasty. Yeah, Scranton to Allentown we built as a Baldwin. That's actually the only train that we have coming out of Scranton, or going to Scranton. Apparently there's a bit of lumber that we can do, Binghamton to Scranton. And actually there's people wanting to go there anyway. Let's do a Baldwin. Scranton to Binghamton. Or Binghamton to Scranton. And we do actually get quite a lot of passengers. All of a sudden, for some reason, I'm low on money, and not really having much money. I think the economy slowing down isn't going to help. Hopefully, though, we don't get a recession, we just get another boom. Oh, Buffalo's offered a $100,000 bonus. That is useless. Not just because it's quite a small amount, but because as soon as I connect to Buffalo, the scenario ends. Why can't it be any other city? Why can't it be like Rochester or Syracuse? How very annoying. Right, do I have enough money to connect to Elmira? I probably do. Did I build a... Yes, I did. I built a service tower and a maintenance facility. Right, yeah, let's get to Elmira. easier said than done. Oh, come on. I just want to build a bridge over to Elmira. Why is that so difficult for some reason? Really? Really, game? I want to build a bridge from here to here. Why is it not letting me do that? That's obscene. Thank you. Thank you. Some pretty nasty track. Well, it is actually quite flat, so it just looks horrible around here, but it does actually work. I mean, if you want to go from Binghamton to Elmira, that's fine, but if you want to go from Scranton to Elmira, it's a bit nasty, but oh well. I've had worse track in this game, and I'm pretty sure the AI has had some absolutely awful track, as we've seen already. Right, we don't want to build out that way, so we want to build out this way. So we want something like that, and then there you go. Right, Elmira to Scranton. There's quite a lot of people. Yeah, let's do that then. Track is actually reasonably flat, but we might as well use a Baldwin. The Baldwin isn't awful for passengers. It's just that the Norris, the Norris you actually only get 110%, whereas the Baldwin you only get 90%. So the difference is actually pretty small. So I'm wondering if I should actually upgrade some of these older trains to Baldwins. Saying that, a 7-year-old train isn't exactly old. Right. So I'm actually going to pause the game here now, because I'm almost at the 2-hour mark. So this is going to be the end of part 1. I don't know when I'm going to do part 2. But, you know, it'll probably just all end up being uploaded together unless I upload this, like, now. But just sort of for my own sake, I think we're actually doing really well. We've only used 8 years, and, you know, we've connected to quite a lot of the map, and we're making good profit. We have been reasonably lucky with the economy. I'll say that, and then we're probably going to get recession sometime soon. Still need to connect to Charlestown, which is doable from Keene. Connecting to Waterbury is going to be a massive pain in the arse. Connecting to Altoona is going to be a pain in the arse. Other than that, though, I can't see any cities being that difficult to connect to. You know, I can probably get from Elmira to Syracuse, Utica, Rochester, Watertown, Malone, and then buy into Canada and connect up to there. So I think Waterbury is going to be the worst, and Altoona is going to be difficult as well. But I think this is actually pretty doable now. But anyway, that ends part 1. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to end the video now, so take care folks, have a nice day, and goodbye.